What does it mean to live unlimited? For some, it's learning to navigate a world not built for you. For others, it's discovering that strength isn't found in perfection, it's found in perseverance. The Living Unlimited podcast celebrates life without limits, real stories, raw conversations, and practical wisdom from people living boldly with limb differences. Each episode shines a light on what's possible when we choose courage over comparison and creativity over conformity. Because life isn't about what's missing, it's about what's possible. Welcome back to another episode. We're so excited to be back with Elena Perez, who we had on a previous episode a while ago. And we are so thrilled to have her back to talk about traveling because, let's face it, everyone, traveling without limbs is quite the adventure. We're just going to share our experiences of traveling, maybe some tips or hacks that we have come up with ourselves. And it'll be really interesting because Jessica and Elena, you both have legs and are missing your arms, and I'm missing basically all four limbs are affected for me. And I have one little leg, but it doesn't count. I can't walk on it. So I'm in a wheelchair and I'm missing pretty much everything else. So we're going to have various perspectives on traveling. Okay, traveling. First question, with yourself or with a companion, Jessica?
My gosh. Well, I think that no matter who we are, we want to have the freedom to choose whether we travel and the option, I should say, not so much the freedom, but the option of traveling alone if it means going in and having a wonderful adventure or traveling with someone else to enjoy that together with someone, a friend or spouse or family member. So I think that it should be an option that we can choose to have and we don't feel limited to one or the other. And so for me, I think it's solo for some trips and with others, most of the time with others, because it's always good to enjoy with someone else. But having that as an open possibility, I think so I wouldn't necessarily pick one over the other. So I think every trip maybe has a different purpose. And so being open to both.
Elena, what's your preference?
My preference honestly would be with someone else. So that way I've had someone to talk to and hang out with and get something to drink and eat with and not be sitting there by myself. I've been proud of myself during the times where I did have to travel alone and I prepped mentally and physically for it. But yeah, I prefer having someone else there with me.
Yeah. So for me, and perhaps this is something that other people could relate to, I have traveled by myself and I refuse to do that anymore because when I travel by myself, I can't eat or drink or go to the bathroom. So unfortunately, I have a little bit more need for another human being other than their amazing company, but I do need the assistance, and it just wasn't healthy for me to go hours not being able to eat, drink, or use the restroom. So I just bring somebody with me all the time. That's just going to be a standard for me. It's an extra expense. Yes, I know, but it's worth it for my peace of mind and the health of my body. It's just being in a wheelchair, it adds a whole other dimension of needing a real big restroom and having to get into an aisle chair and then the anxiety of leaving your chair. So I know for me, traveling can bring up a lot of anxiety because then I'm really disabled when I'm sitting in the plane because I don't have access to my wheelchair. And it's like being disconnected from your legs and praying that someone cares about your wheelchair as much as you do when they're handling it.
They are your legs. Your wheels are your legs. And not everyone understands how important that is until they have to rely on it for any particular reason. For me, I remember one time injuring my leg and I was in a wheelchair because crutches are not an option unless, Elena, you figured that out, but I didn't at the time. So I had to be in a wheelchair for a time there. But this anxiety, I just want to really talk it through because so many people listening right now, I can only imagine the anxiety they're thinking about. And sometimes it's really about being organized and thinking well ahead and also being resourceful with those organizations out there that help people with disabilities travel and just being aware of them. So I think this conversation hopefully will elevate others' awareness about the resources available. We were just talking about it before you started recording about this one that I found out about called Wheels of the World. And they have accommodations for anyone in a wheelchair or other disabilities, not just being in a wheelchair, but other disabilities as well, to travel to different places around the world. And I thought about it when I was perusing the website last night, how reassuring it is to know that these people have literally plotted it out where you can go to New York City and have access to an ADA bathroom. I was getting ready literally tomorrow to head to the East Coast, and I was going to do some of this travel by myself without my husband, but with my service dog Chewy. And that actually gave me a little bit a support knowing that he can be with me. But then again, I have to also think about the complications that having a service dog can also bring to the table. But I was worried because I was like, when I'm trying to navigate public transportation in New York City by myself, I cannot use my phone and be walking on my feet at the same time because I have to be able to scroll the GPS on my phone. And unless I have it on turn by turn directions so that I can hear them in my ear, but I'm a very visual person, so I'd want to be able to see them. But if I'm already standing and walking on my feet, how am I going to grab my phone to be able I made the right turn? But with Chewy in his bag that he has on his back, I can carry my phone in there. So that made it a lot easier. I haven't tried it yet with him, but this will be a first time trying it with him to be able to navigate the major chaos of New York City by myself. And also that sense of, well, maybe he can also be like a guard dog for me because who's going to want to mess with me when I have a 77-pound golden labradoodle who looks like a teddy bear? Anyway, what do you guys think? Can you tell me about your stories of craziness traveling? Maybe your craziest story and how you got through it?
Honestly, for me, when I traveled to San Diego on my own, just to make sure, I told them I just needed assistance with carrying my bag through the screenings and checks and just getting me to my chair. Like on the plane, I just need assistance with putting on my seatbelt and taking it off. But other than that, I was just telling them like, no, I don't need a wheelchair. Because they would ask me like, do you need a wheelchair? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I can walk. I just need help carrying my bag and things like that. But I don't have a service dog. I thought about it. I'm a cat lady. Service cat, I would be, all about it. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Maybe for the future. You never know. You never know. I might change my mind. Give me a couple of years. Honestly, I just try to mentally prepare myself for if I have to go to the bathroom. I'm hoping that the walls of the tile is great for my hooks. And I try to make sure I don't drink so much anything before going on the flight. And because I don't want to be going to the bathroom on the flight. I've never had to go to the bathroom on a flight and I don't want to. And making sure I wear loose enough clothing. Something happens, I don't want to get stuck somewhere. And it's just all these things that we have to think about that I don't think everyone that is able bodied don't think about those things. And it's just one thing I just don't like to ask for help. But it's something I'm grateful that, like you mentioned, there's a program out there that can help out other people traveling that are born with disabilities or have a disability. I think that's awesome. I want to check that out myself.
We should
Yeah.
found a travel company where you provide companions for people that want to travel with a disability. All family members can, like my husband, we have a company here on island, and so he just can't just come with me all the time, or it does
Yeah.
take time out of his work to be able to do that. And so I wish they had like travel companion for people with disabilities. But one of the things when I did was flying by myself, I had to do was really be okay with asking the person next to me. And I can't even imagine a stranger sitting next to me,
Right.
and they're like, oh God, I have to sit next to this person. Because I'm sure things are going through their head, like, I hope she doesn't drool, or I don't know
Yeah.
what they're thinking. And then I have to insert myself and say, hi, I'm Pauline, what's your name? And just create a relationship on the fly and immediately be like, if there's something I need, is it okay if I ask your help? And most of the times people are very gracious and willing to support or help in any way. I'm not asking them to feed me, but if I dropped something, they would be willing to pick it up. And I remember, I'll just share this one funny story. Coming from Hawaii, I'm often on red eyes, and I flew on this airline, and I was flying by myself. And it was great. The plane was not full, so I had the whole row to myself. And I was like, yes, I'm going to LA on a red eye. I'm going to lay down. And so I laid down, and it's perfect because I don't have any length, so it's great for me. And I was laying down, and I hear the flight attendants, and they're like, "My gosh, did she fall down? Do we help her sit up?" Like they were so confused. And I got up, and I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just laying down. I can sit myself up." And they're like, "Oh, okay." But it was really sweet. And I don't know if I've just gotten lucky with amazing humans next to me, but I think when we travel, you're right, Elena, we're very vulnerable. We have to ask a lot of people for a lot of different things. And it's just, it can be scary, but that's life. And I think that's actually one of the beauties that we get to experience in life is that we truly live no man is an island type
Yeah.
of life.
Right.
We know that we can't take humans for granted and just treat them like crap. And other people, I think that we get to bring humanity back to the world in that way. So it's hopefully a good experience for other people who we involve in our life. I guess everyone could say, no, I don't want to help you, but I
Right.
haven't had that experience yet.
Yeah, I haven't had that experience myself. Remember when I first landed in San Diego, the girl next to me was like, "Would you like me to unbuckle your seatbelt?" Because I was wedged between a guy and a girl I've never met. I didn't even talk at all. I was all awkward. Should I take my foot out? Should I text someone? Would it be awkward? I was replaying every scenario in my mind, and my anxiety just took a toll, and I got so hot. But the girl was like, "I'll unbuckle your seatbelt." And the guy was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome. You can text with your feet. If you ever need anything, let me know." And it was great. It calmed my nerves at that moment where I definitely needed it. And it was just, it's a lot we have to think about. And I had to remember to pack a straw just in case the flight didn't have a straw, just in case if I need one and I want a drink and scenarios like that. It's a lot. And I understand completely how you feel.
And I love that you both have said the importance of having your voice and being willing to voice your needs,
Mhm.
because that is our greatest tool that we have is again, we're expressing our vulnerability by admitting, hey, can I have help? And that should be okay because we're all in this world together. At some point, someone else will need help, even if they have their arms. So we're all here and it's a full circle of help. Eventually, someone else will need help, and just recognizing that it's okay to ask for help. And it doesn't mean any less of you if you do have to ask for help. And then, of course, the willingness to give the help, because maybe for that person too, they feel good about providing help to someone. So it's a very interesting cycle, but being willing to speak up and not just keep our mouths shut because we're worried about what other people are going to think is so important.
That's a whole other episode. We will bring that to you too. How do you ask for help with grace and how do you receive and all of the dynamics that come along with that? I think that's a really great topic that we dive into on another episode. Thank you so much, Jessica and Elena, for having this conversation with us. For those that are listening or watching, let us know in the comments. Do you have any travel stories you'd like to share with us? Maybe they're funny. Maybe they didn't turn out so good. Maybe it was amazing, or if there's any tips or tricks that you have discovered. I'm always looking to other people with disabilities for like, okay, well, how do you put your earphones in and all the different little things? It's all in the details. So it's like we got to figure out all these things. And if you've figured it out, let us know. It could help somebody else. So thank you for engaging with us in our community. Again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Subscribe and Share with everyone in your world. And we will see you next time.
They said there's only one way to live, but we were born to redefine it. We found light in the hardest places, turned the struggle into guidance. Every scar, every stair, every door once closed became the wind beneath our hopes. We're not what the world expects to see. We're the proof